Well, hello. Welcome back to Tactical Tuesday with Johnny Tiger on April 6, 2021. Continuing responding to the video in there in the description. The original video name is Krav Maga as useless as Aikido. Today we're going to address the point the original maker of the video made regarding Krav Maga techniques in very specific two techniques that he addressed. I'm going to address both of them, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about Krav Maga teaching, Krav Maga technique, and what you should or shouldn't expect from the kind of things you learn from Krav Maga. Now, before I go into today's main topic, let me quickly recap. I will not attempt to address if Aikido is useless or not, because that is not where I have any kind of knowledge about. And I will not stand here and claim that I represent all the Krav Maga community out there, or all the different styles of Krav Maga teaching out there. I can only speak from my experience training with Commando Krav Maga, founded by Moni Isaac, and Krav Maga Force, an offshoot of Commando Krav Maga, and then Tactical Personal Protection Program, the current incarnation of Krav Maga Force here in British Columbia, Canada. So the one thing to get out of the way is Krav Maga really shouldn't, really doesn't, really not supposed to have anything that you can say, quote unquote, techniques. We do teach techniques, but most of the things that we teach you in Krav Maga are borrowed from other disciplines. Krav Maga in of its own is not a martial art. I said this many, many times. It's not a martial art. It is a fighting system primarily made up of boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then whatever the user or teachers or trainees may find useful. So what this means is you can have 10 people from the same Krav Maga program. And we see that in our own Krav Maga Force, Commando Krav Maga, and Tactical Personal Protection program. You can have 10 people from the same program training the same amount of time. But when you actually get them fighting, when you actually get in a fight or a sparring match with them, mileage will be very different. Okay, for example, we had older student that was with us for a while, and his background was karate and judo. So when you see him do his self-defense, do his Krav Maga stuff, do his sparring, he has a lot of judo mixed in with his technique. He still looked like Krav Maga, but he looked like Krav Maga that were heavily reinforced by judo and karate. And then you will have someone else who's from the kickboxing background, and if he trains in Krav Maga, and he's going to fight, and he's going to look like a Muay Thai or kickboxer that heavily influenced by Krav Maga. If you have someone who has a MMA background, and that person is going to have a lot of MMA influence in his or her Krav Maga. Uh, I myself, a lot of people say, how come I move different from a lot of my other students and my classmates? Because I have a lot of mixed background. I have background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I have background in Judo, I have background in Taekwondo, I have background in kickboxing. And what even more, I have background in three different styles of Chinese Kung Fu. So when I do my Krav Maga, when I go into sparring, when I go into demonstration, the way I move is heavily influenced by things that I already know. Uh, but we are all performing or demonstrating or teaching or learning Krav Maga, the same exact same class, exact same style of Krav Maga, but everyone's going to look different. So you have to kind of think of Krav Maga as it's not a system where it's trying to teach you new techniques, but rather it is a system that tries to teach you how to use the things that you already know, and maybe in the process teach you some of the things that you don't already know, and then teach you how to best put them to use in various real life tactical or street scenario. So technically speaking, Krav Maga really should have no techniques. Uh, we do roundhouse kick just like everybody. We borrow the roundhouse kick heavily from Muay Thai kickboxing, although we modify it for Krav Maga usage rather than going for the belly or the side. Quite often we will do a roundhouse kick to the inner side, to the back of the knee joint, because that's what we want to do is to bring the person down so we can end the fight as quickly as we can. We do the crescent kick, and crescent kick, we don't bother with the high flying crescent kick that Taekwondo people like to do. We do it to the groin or the inside of the thigh or the inside of the knee joint, attempting to break that knee joint. So a lot of the technique we do, including the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 punches we get from boxing and MMA. We do not claim to teach these techniques for the sake of the techniques. We teach these to give you a general idea of how to do them and how to uh, continue to do what you need to do from that point on. Now, the original video is Krav Maga as useless as Aikido, brought up two very specific points against Krav Maga practitioner that I will address today. One is a 360-degree block. Okay, the idea of we can block incoming attack with our forearm, no matter which direction they come from and uh, which side they come from. If it come from above, we snap our arm up. If it come from the side, we snap our arm to the side. Come from below, we snap our arm down. Even when we are turning, the attack coming from behind, we turn and sweep out our block. So the original poster of the video mentioned that 360-degree block looked very impractical or useless or something to that effect. And I will tell you, yes, it kind of is. Uh, and the reason is no matter what martial art you look at, no matter what martial art you look at, any kind of block is kind of finicky. They are chancy at best, and most of the time they downright fail. Because to block an incoming attack is just kind of silly. It should be your last ditch defense. When an attack is coming, you either get out of the way, or you want to deflect it, or you want to go in for the attack. The best defense is a good offense. So any kind of block, if you look at karate block, you look at taekwondo block, and you look at kung fu block, and I've done a lot of these. I've done a lot of these, the high block, the slow block, the side block, all these kind of things through different martial arts. Almost every time there's a blocking technique. It's pretty useless. So that should not be held against Krav Maga. It's just the nature of blocking maneuvers themselves. It's generally very useless. Okay, you're meeting force with force. You're putting your arm in the way of danger. Right? In Taekwondo and Karate, at least you know what's coming at you is a leg or an arm. But what if the person coming at you with a sword or a machete? Do you really still want to block with your arm? No. Okay? So, yes, 360 block is a little bit silly. It's kind of useless. Uh, and it is. It is what a lot of people will say. It's a Krav Maga technique. But honestly, it is. It's like a modified karate block. It's a modified karate block that people say, Krav Maga people primarily say it's our own 360 block. It's our own. It's a useless technique that been labeled as a Krav Maga trademark. Now, I will tell you guys something that a lot of time, and we are going to talk about this a little bit more after I address the other technique. What most people don't realize when we practice the 360-degree block is there's another part of our training that you guys don't often see, which is heavy body conditioning, right? So you guys seen me use this before, big wooden rolling pin, right? If a lot of these martial arts, like karate, like taekwondo, like kung fu, you swing something like this at them and get them to do their arm block, pow, it hurts them, right? Maybe not karate. Karate do a lot of arm conditioning, that I will say. But almost certain, you get a taekwondo guy, you get him to block this, it's going to hurt. He's not going to be able to take a lot of this. But if you are with a legit Krav Maga program, the part of the training that people don't see is the kind of body conditioning that is downright disturbing and brutal. Okay? A lot of time, at the end of a class, we walk to every student and we take our forearm and hit their forearm as hard as we can with our forearm, and then we hit it with the top, and then again with the bottom, and then with the top, and then with the bottom, and then with the top. Okay? We condition the heck out of our arm. What that means is, if someone swings a punch our way, and we throw this forearm into their arm, we are very confident that our arm will blast through their arm because of the hours and hours and hours of pain we endure to practice bashing the heck out of our arm, with wooden object, with each other's arm. So rather than saying the 360 block is a block, it's more in line with the next movement that I'm going to address. It's more of an attack. You swing an arm at me, I'm going to hit it with my arm. You swing a leg at me, I'm going to hit it with my arm. Whatever you swing at me, if you swing a knife at me, I'm going to move in and hit your wrist with my arm. If you try to stab me front, full on with a knife, I'm going to shuffle to the side and bring my arm down right on your arm. Okay? I'm using my arm like it's a baseball bat, right? That's where the hours and hours of conditioning come in. So when we do a 360 block, we are not aiming to just block your attack. We're aiming to break your arm with our arm. So that's the one little saving grace for 360 defense. Um, However, if you are from one of the Krav Maga school, that if you don't condition your body like how you're supposed to, then yeah, 360 defense will be a very useless technique. And even with iron hard, steel hard arms, it still can be a very useless technique depending on what you apply it to. Okay? Someone coming at you with a machete, you definitely don't want to do your 360-degree block because you're going to lose an arm. Your arm is not going to beat a machete. But if someone come at you with a baseball bat, eh, if someone come at me with a baseball bat, I have full confidence that I can at least block the first, block the second. I can block enough for me to close the distance, take that bat away from them, and feed that bat to them. Right? Part of what we do in Krav Maga is learn how to condition ourselves to hone our body to become as good a condition as doable as it can be. Now, let's address the second point before I ramble on about training and other techniques and stuff like that. The second thing that was brought up is the whole concept of attacking and defending at the same time. I remember the poster said it just seemed like you never do that. It just even boxers they don't usually do that. They do that sometimes, but they don't usually do that. Well, my short answer to you is because Krav Maga is not boxing. We are not standing here to fight a sparring match or a tournament, and we want to end the fight as quick as we can. We are not going to use our Krav Maga to go challenge a boxer to a fight. We're not going to use our Krav Maga to go fight an MMA fighter in the cage. But you know what we do is when someone is charging at us with a baseball bat or a wooden rolling pin, we want to simultaneously throw our hardened arm up to protect ourselves while our other arm shoot in and rip out the person's throat or rip out the person's groin or clap over their ear. This is why in Krav Maga, one of the core uh, idea, I won't even demean it by calling it a technique, because it really should be an idea, a principle that all Krav Maga practitioners should learn to follow. Is while you're defending, you are taking the offensive. If one hand is defending, the other hand should be attacking. If both hands are defending, the leg should be kicking. If your arms and legs are occupied, you should be biting, headbutting, anything, right? So that is not a technique. Boxers don't do that because boxers they don't end the fight in 1 or 2 seconds. They do it for competition. They do it for scores, for points. Okay, so a lot of time boxers are worried that if I'm defending with my left hand and I attack with my right hand, what if the punch comes from the right? And I'm going to get hit, and I'm going to be in trouble, right? In Krav Maga, we don't care about that kind of stuff. In Krav Maga, we are thinking, you attack me, I block and attack at the same time. But if while my left hand is blocking, my right hand is attacking, and you hit me on the right, that's no problem because then I bring my knee up into your groin and poke my thumb into your eye, pull your head down, knee into the face, and slam your head into the ground. I can take a few hits, no problem. I'll give you those chances to hit me, no problem, as long as I can get in and finish the fight. There's a whole different goal in mind, a whole different set of rules or of lack of rules in mind for Krav Maga people. We don't worry about if we are hitting you and you're hitting us back and we might take one in the face. That's okay. Uh, I'm going to uh, segue over to talking about uh, what is really going on in Krav Maga training, rather than teaching you a whole bunch of techniques, rather than teaching you how to do a perfect hook punch or a perfect uppercut. What are we doing with our time? What are we doing that a lot of people are not seeing? In the most traditional Chinese Kung Fu, uh, they focus on three different areas of training. So it's not like you walk into a dojo and learn karate and you learn everything. You know, in traditional Chinese kung fu, they split your training into three different areas, three different classes. You might have to do this class in the morning, another class in the afternoon, another class at night. The three area is techniques, aka how to do things, how to throw a punch, how to do a jumping front kick, how to do a roundhouse kick, how to do a mule kick, etc., etc. That is the most basic. And then there's the training of the outside, the training of the body. And then last but not least, the training of the inside, the training of the mind and energy and breathing and meditation and all that hokey pocus stuff that some people think is not real, some people really swear by it, whatever. Okay? For Krav Maga, we train a little bit on technique, but what we really focus on is the training of the body. So if you sign up for a real legit Krav Maga program, what you should be expecting is maybe 20 minutes of technique, and it's very basic stuff: elbow, knee, roundhouse kick, stomp, punch, finger jab, clapping over the ear, headbutt, etc., etc. I can probably sum up all the technique you need for your Krav Maga stuff uh, within, I would say, 20 techniques. That's pretty much all you need. However, what we focus heavily on, so you should have 20 minutes of technique, but you should have 50 to 60 minutes of conditioning. And part of the conditioning is we take a turn beating the heck out of each other. You stand in front of your partner, and then your partner either use their fist or they use a training stick and go at your belly, go at your belly, go at your chest, go at your chest, go at your back, go at your back, go at your side, hitting you on the side, hitting you on the arm, hitting you on the arm. Okay? And then it's your turn to do it to them. And then you stand in front of each other, you let your partner slap you across the face, across the face, across the face, across the face. Huh? And then you do it back to them. And then you stand in front of each other, you let your partner punch you on the jaw, not hard, not super hard, but hard enough so your neck, your head learn to react to it, and then you do it back to them. Obviously, we don't start by destroying each other. We want each other to learn. We don't want to hurt each other. So we start maybe with 30% power, and then when people are used to it, we move it up to 40% and 50%. We don't usually go beyond 80% unless the person is really, really, really well conditioned. In addition to that, we do things like while we're doing sit-up, our partner is standing on our belly with the whole weight. We are doing push-up or holding the plank while our partner is throwing front kick, rising front kick into our belly from beneath, or putting their foot on our back and pushing down, and we have to continue to do the push-up. These are the things that outside world often don't see from Krav Maga, but this is what we spend the majority of our time doing. Okay, another part of our training is the willpower. Willpower. Okay, for example, we'll say, okay, student A and student B have to spar, but student A have to do 100 push-up prior to sparring, and then if student A loses the match, like tapping out or get choked out or whatever, then he owes another 100 push-ups. Will wear you down by making you do a lot of workout, a lot of conditioning, and then throw you in there to spar, looking like bad MMA matches. But the point is that you, even when you're super tired, even when all the muscles are aching, you do not quit. you keep fighting. That's what we're looking for. So these are uh, essentially the essence of a legit, full-on Krav Maga training. No technique, or at least very, very little technique, but a lot of hardening your will, hardening your body, trying to make you uh, indestructible, if not physically, at least in your mind. Right? Another thing that we train a lot, that again people don't tend to see it, is we deal with hostage rescue, bodyguard uh, duty. For example, we have drills where we would walk a blindfolded partner from point A to point B, and any time during the journey, a bunch of attackers going to come and try to hit them with a baseball bat or stab them with a training knife. And it's our job to defend them. Anytime they get nailed, we fail. And those training are fun, but extremely difficult. So that's the kind of thing that you should really be looking for in Krav Maga, not uh, 1 inch punch, not flying roundhouse kick, not beautiful techniques that work on stage or in the ring. In fact, quite often I tell people I'm glad that I've done some other martial arts because if I only know Krav Maga, whenever people ask me, can you show me some Krav Maga like technique examples? I run into that, especially at parties. I would go to a party and someone would say, Johnny's a Krav Maga instructor. And someone would say, oh, can you show us something? Show us how you do it. What's Krav Maga? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, there's really not a heck of a lot that I can show in Krav Maga other than, if I tell you to attack me and then we see how bad I kick your butt. There's really not any good looking technique I can show you that is Krav Maga. So what I do now, and this is a little tip for Krav Maga practitioners out there. What I do now is I carry this. This is a training knife. Well, this is a training karambit. You know? I personally favor karambit, but you can carry any kind of training knife you want. I carry a training knife with me everywhere I go. If I run into someone who say, "Can you show us some Krav Maga?" I take out my training knife and I say, "Okay, here, take the knife, attack me any way you can." Okay, put a knife in your pocket and then pull it out. Attack me any way you can. If you want, you can even wait a second, wait a bit for if you see I'm not paying attention, I'm talking to someone, suddenly pull out the training knife and attack me. Okay, and then I will show you how Krav Maga is done. Now, if you can nail me with a knife, like in the vital area, then that means I suck at what I do. But most likely you wouldn't be able to. Right? That is the kind of thing that we can show in Krav Maga. Or I can say, okay, I will stand beside this person. You attack them, and then I'll show you how we learn to protect someone in Krav Maga. Those are the kind of so Krav Maga is extremely hard to demonstrate unless you have the proper tool, the proper participant. Otherwise, it's not like karate where you can just go get a brick and bust the brick with your arm. It's not like taekwondo where you can do a jump in the air and do three roundhouse kick in the air. Uh, it's very difficult to demonstrate Krav Maga because go back to and ending it on the note we start with because Krav Maga should have no technique. We teach you how to condition yourself. We teach you how to protect someone. We teach you how to deal with guns and knives. And if multiple people want to jump you on the street, we teach you how to deal with that. And what we also teach you is how to whip out your knife really quick, no matter what position you're in. What if you need to pull out a knife when you're laying on the ground, or when you're laying face down, or if you're sitting? We teach you what you can do If someone, while you're sitting on the bus, suddenly sit down beside you, and then when you're not expecting that, they suddenly hold a knife across your neck and demand for your wallet, we'll teach you what to do in that case. What do you do in that case? Give them your wallet. Thank you for checking out today's Tactical Tuesday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Wisdom Wednesday. For now, have a good night.